As a parent, you want just the best for your children. However, with rising costs today, it is becoming increasingly difficult for parents to keep up with financial requirements of raising and educating children. More and more parents are realizing the need for financial planning to provide the best possible education for the children or to their children. And today's edition of Turn Up is a program that seeks to empower women, and the Girl Child will focus on planning for a child's education, or we are giving you tips for parents when planning for their child's future. The program is Turn Up. Still this. We are talking about women empowerment. We are talking about a girl child education. Women need to elaborate and increase all of what it is that they can be or do and accomplish in a circumstance that they previously were denied. For the next 52 minutes, we are live on CANAL, the English. And if you want to follow us or send your reactions, you can send us to the numbers you'll be seeing on your TV screens. You can equally follow us on Twitter, our Facebook, and on YouTube. We'll be right back just after the jingle. Now, to throw more light on today's theme or the topic of today, we have invited fine brains as usual. We have invited women who are here to share their testimonies and share their stories about how they plan for their children's education. Planning is about building a child's future. That's why we're here today. That's what we are talking about in today's program. Now it's time for us to know our guests and let the discussion begin. I begin with a person that is very close to me. She is Selina Cho, Country Manager, Kia Autos, Cameroon. You're welcome to CANAL, the English.
Thank you.
It's the first time.
Yeah, this is my first time. Good evening, everyone, and this is my great honor to be here.
Now, how do you feel?
I feel a little nervous, but I feel very excited.
Now, you have to relax. Now, how was your day? I know you as a manager. Was it like easy?
Yes.
Working in the midst of men, like ordering people, telling them you need to do this or that. Now, how challenging was your day?
Today was very, very fine. Yes,
That
was very fine. A lot of jobs, and especially my boss wasn't here today, but I'm sure I managed very well.
All right.
And then all my staff, they really helped me, so it was very fun.
All right. Now we also have Mercy Angobi, Deputy Finance and Administrative Director of Beneficial Life Insurance at Cameroon. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Maureen. It's a pleasure to be in CANAL English.
All right.
It's wonderful that you people are given the opportunity to talk to young people or to women and sensitize and empower women. It will be an interesting program to be here. It's my first time to be here. So I'm looking forward to the program and hope we share some good ideas.
All right. Now, I want to talk about a domain you know very well. We're talking about insurance. Now, how do you cope?
Oh, it's wonderful. Just that Cameroonians are not they are not sensitized about insurance. We are about, if my data is not wrong, we have more than 26 million Cameroonians, but 1/10 are insured.
All right.
So meaning they do not know about insurance.
All right.
So during the program, we'll try to sensitize people on that and educate Cameroonians that it's important to take insurance. But my main thing here today is, first of all, talking about empowering women, and again, talking about women with like minority kind of, or insensitive. They are like, sometimes women feel like they don't have confidence in themselves, they don't take themselves out, they don't sell themselves. So I want to first of all touch on those things, then we'll get back to insurance. All
right. Now we're going to talk about you because you know your role models to millions of women out there. They have dreams, and when they look up to you, they want to have they like wishing to have a brighter future, just like you. Now, before we talk about planning for a child's education, I want us to talk a little bit about sexual harassment. I've dedicated a whole month to talk about sexual harassment of women in their workspaces, and I want to get your own stories. Now, have you ever been a victim of sexual harassment? Let me start with you.
Yeah, when I was younger. Right now, no, but when I was much younger, I just left college. I had a part-time job. Every man wanted you. And they would feel like if you don't have me, then you don't get a promotion, or you don't get a job, or you don't. So sometimes you are exposed to that, but you have to stay confident. If you know yourself and you know you can do it without that, you need to stay focused and confident.
Now, how did you handle it? Was it like easy to just like...
It was not easy because
did you get a job or you dropped the job?
I actually dropped the job and went abroad to continue my education.
Okay.
Because I left high school, I was young, I was just 20, and I had this job. Thought I could excel in it, but you know, like you have all of these men and your colleagues who think they can only go out with you before you actually confirm on the job or before you get any rise or any pay. And I thought, no, I'm going to stay here, I'm going to do my job. To the extent that there was a time we had a training. So when I went on the training and came back, I told my boss I can actually implement the program. He said, "Tupal." And I said, yes, I can do it. And guess what? Up until today, they're using what I implemented at that workplace. And that was only when after high school, and they're still using it.
Okay.
So, but they didn't believe that a woman can do that, but I did it.
All right. Now, Selena?
Yes?
Did you experience like a sexual harassment when you were growing up? The university, high school?
Well,
when you started work?
Yes, I think so. But I need to talk about some experience in Cameroon.
Okay.
Right. Luckily, I have very good colleagues in my working place, so I don't really have a problem with that. But some very naughty client, they want to invite for dinner, or they want to be with me like some private places. And then like some people, when they are together, we talk about cars mainly, right? Okay. And some people try to touch me, or when they good morning, bisou, and they try to touch you like that. Okay. One day there is one guy, very naughty guy, but he is very important client for me. Okay. And he did try, and then one day I decide before I come from my house, if I see him today, I'm gonna tell him I don't like this. Okay. Yes. So he hugged me. Hello, Selena, how are you? And then he started touching my arms like this, and I say, please, I really like you. However, I don't really like you to touch me. I want to stop it. Okay. And I said, I'm sorry. And it ended? Yeah, it's ended. But before I really was thinking, should I say that? If I say it, he doesn't like it. And then if I'm going to lose the big client that time, this is a big loss. He's a very important connection for me. But should I say it or not? But after I said it, was very fine. You look for a proper manner to tell him not to continue with the advances towards you. Okay, we're talking about planning for a child's education, working for a child's or building a child's future. Now, I want us to watch this story. We'll be right back. The cost of education in Cameroon and elsewhere across the globe is increasing at a fast pace. From primary to secondary to higher education, parents are increasingly finding it difficult to meet the growing fee structure and other costs associated with education. But the question is, how can you as a parent fund your child's education?
Choose them by being the tailor yourself, or you oversee a tailor, or like this worries, you can be the producer of them.
But it is difficult for most parents to cough out such a large amount in a short period of time. Some parents were bold enough to tell reporters the cost of providing education in private institutions in 2014 was about 2 times that in government schools, while the cost of higher education from a private institution is about 3 times that in one run by government. To ease their stress, some depend on education loan, others depend on their salary, while others on savings in janky groups. They engage in all this to bridge the gap between your children's savings and the actual requirements.
It was quite challenging as well, but it was truly fulfilling. Fulfilling because the network of speakers that we brought together were truly priceless. You can't buy them in the market. They're all professionals, thought leaders, experts in their fields, and they were able to truly inspire the children. If you go out there and ask the kids, they will tell you how inspired they've been.
As time goes on, many parents have come to realize that the best asset you can give to your child in order to secure his future is a good education. Now we are talking about planning for a child's education, building a child's future. Now, education is a foundation, let me put it that way, of a child's future. Of what significance is investing in a child's education? Anyone can start.
Well, it's very important because I remember the good old days. My mom didn't go to school, but would do everything to get me educated. Okay. And it's important today that I actually did everything that she wanted, and today I'm a director, finance director. So everybody should prioritize educating their children. It's important. Mm-hmm. Because in the good old days, I used to hear they say, oh, she's only a woman, she shouldn't go to college. They just prefer men to go to college. But I can guarantee you that planning, good planning, no matter how much you earn, you can send your child to college or to school. Because now the government schools are actually free, even though you pay a little PTA fee and buy books.
It's not like really
it's
free
not like
per
really,
se.
yeah, but it's at least affordable if we get good planning. So if my old man or my parents and my old father could do it for me, I think anybody can do it, because they never even had what some people have today. Like they can do restaurants, some people can go to the farm. You just need to put a little penny away, and before you realize, your kids will be educated and remove it from the misery.
All right.
So
now, when we talk about a planning here, we talk about educating children. Do parents around the world, do they give it a priority, Selena?
Yes, of course. Especially in Korea, you invest a lot to your children.
Okay.
Even, let's say that you don't really change your clothes, you don't do the shopping, and then you don't waste all your money on yourself. However, we invest a lot to your children. They always struggling to find a nice textbook and a nice private lesson, try to send to the very good school.
Okay.
So that's why we can say most of, let's say almost 100% of people, they go to primary school, they go to middle school, they go to high school, and then most of them, they go to university for having the better future. But without parents' support, this is impossible.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, in Cameroon, is it the same thing?
Yeah, in Cameroon, I think nowadays people pay a lot of attention sending their kids to school. We really don't have a lot of people not sending kids to school anymore, even though you still have in the rural areas a few people that do not send their children to school. But I think we actually prioritize now in sending kids to school in Cameroon.
Now, what about the girls? Is it equal? Or
Yeah,
it's still the boy and the girl on the same balance?
Well, yeah, that has evolved a bit. I mean, compared to the yesteryears, the past years, where people thought that girls were not up to the standards, or men are priorities or prioritized to go to college if the father has low income. Today, they're seeing that most people are seeing that sending a girl child to school is important now. Okay. And not just saying this because we are women, but you realize that in families, women take care of families better than men.
All right. Because
that's a different topic, but I just
it's really a different topic on its own. Because, okay, now we're talking about planning. Now, do parents actually plan for their children's education?
Yeah, they do. Even though it's better, we can use this medium to tell people that better planning is important. Parents plan. Sometimes it's difficult because we see people doing last-minute loans, still going to take loans at last minute when they know that September will be a school reopening dates. I mean, sometimes, yes, me, myself, I get involved in certain things.
Last-minute
preparation, which is really something that is not worth the trouble, because you have 12 months. I'm not going to call the bank, but I was so impressed when I went to pay in my kids' school fees, and the bank told me that I could open an account and drop 10,000 every month, so that when schools are about to reopen, and then I just use the child's account to pay the fees.
Okay.
Or so you pay, because this was nursery school then. I was impressed, and I was like, wow, this is interesting. Do you really tell this to many people? Because all you do is open an account and you calculate how much fees you pay per year, and every month you put in a little bit of money there, so at the end of the year you don't have to go looking for loans, paying interest, and then rushing for school places because you didn't have enough money or you didn't have the school loan on time. So I was impressed. So there are many other tips.
And do you think the parents are actually aware of this? We're talking about planning here. Do you think our parents actually plan for your children's education?
No, I have
No?
what Marcy says is very, very good idea, and they're very much agree. But what I found here is, like, people, as you said, they always prepare at the last moment.
Okay.
And then I have so many people around me, they come, please, madam, can I need your help?
Okay.
Maybe, as you said, they can prepare every month. I take the small money and then put the small amount, and then they can prepare. But normally they don't really do.
All
they
right.
spend everything. So what I try to put is, I'm doing something with somebody who is working for my house. I help her to open the bank account, and then I fund her for her 2 children.
Okay.
And then she add some money from her salary,
Okay.
and then she invest together.
All right.
So I keep saying that this is important for your future, and I keep telling her, you need to give her the dream for next score and
Okay.
then next level,
All right.
and then we planning together.
All right.
And
We have
this
so
is
many
very
managers
important.
who don't like do that. Now, what is the priority? Is it at what stage do you plan?
At every stage.
Mm-hmm.
At every stage, especially when the child is born. If you want your child to go further in education, it's important that you think about it from the day the child is born, especially if you have the means.
All right.
I know that some constraints, some financial constraint is part of the reason why people don't plan and wait till last minute to start rushing for loans and for everything.
Yeah.
But if you have the opportunity that you have a job, a permanent job, it is important that you plan for the child's education at birth. That's why I will now want to come in with insurance, because I didn't really want to talk.
Before we even come to insurance, now I want to say, don't you think there are obstacles, there are problems that parents to face? That's why they can't really plan, because you think a parent just like a seed, if he has the means, he will not plan?
Really, that's why
Now,
I said.
what are some of the problems that you think that when we look at the society today, let's see the realities on the ground, what are some of the problems that can push parents, Selena, not to do proper planning for their children's education?
For me, I don't know if this is a different topic, but I really wanted to say something. What you are saying is public education is very important. However, for me, family education should be ahead. You know, it's good that you send your school to your children to the good school. However, you should be the good mother who can give the guide to your children. I don't know if I away from the topic. Yeah,
All
we are
right.
talking about the financial ways.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, Mercy, can you tell us what are some of the difficulties? Let's look at the realities on the
The
ground.
reality is minimum wage is very low in Cameroon.
Okay.
When you look at minimum wage, somebody is earning 40,000 like a guardian or a night watch, or 60,000. The parents, they have families that they have to feed, and then somebody is sick, so they have little money left. They don't have enough of money. They don't have enough money to keep money aside. So minimum wage is a problem. Free education is another thing. If we can afford free education in the country, where when we say public schools are free, it should be free, then it will help. And the third one I can think of, the difficulties we have, is family. Everybody, we don't have a social service system where if one person is working, it takes care of everybody in the family. If there's a family of 5 and you're the only one working, everybody's on you. So that's a challenge, and sometimes the person may be really, really stressed and not be able to take everybody along the boat. Then it causes problems. So it's just financial constraints.
All right. Now, let's also look at this other aspect. Let's look at ignorance. Because we have so many parents who are totally ignorant, Selena, and we don't have Cameroonians, or even we have many people around the world, even women in particular, we don't have the culture of planning. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Since I was young, my father, he's very independent person.
Okay.
And then he really want me to go for the higher school.
Okay.
And then he keeps saying that, okay, now you are the level of this, and I will send you this place, and then later this place, and later this place.
Okay.
And then since I was very young, I already have it in my mind. Okay?
Okay.
After this level, we go this level. And I remember one day, it was first day of middle school.
Okay.
And then he called me, and then he said that, now you are no more child, and then now you need to start practice your own life. So you need to practice your own life, you plan it, and then now you try to make a decision by yourself.
Okay.
And it really helped me and then pushed me to take a responsibility
Okay.
and take a decision. And those kind of my family education, not only the financial way, it really helped me to grow up.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, we talked about financial constraint. Now, there are people that, okay, let's just take the salary. There are people even with salary of 500,000 francs. Somebody has a salary of, let's say, like 60,000 francs. He plans. Who plans better? Because the person who has a salary of 500,000 francs still says the same thing. He talks of stress. The person that has a salary of, let's say, 60,000 or 100 still talks of stress. Now, who should plan better?
That's really interesting, because planning does not really matter how much you earn.
That's what I want to talk about.
Yeah,
Is it about salary?
It's about how organized you can be to plan your
because
your
people need to
family.
know that.
Yeah, it's about how organized you can be, because no matter how much you earn, like, I mean, that's a really interesting point to put, you touch there, because you only can live according to how much you make. So if you earn 60,000 and you leave 50,000 or 5,000 by the side every month, that's 60,000 a year. And if your kids are going to the primary school, if they're still in primary school level, which is free, PTA is 5,000. I mean, exercise books are whatever. You know that you can live with that for for the few kids that you have. So family planning, and like Selena was saying, I think it's wonderful that family planning and how to plan for the kids going back to school is important. Plan for the child from the day the child is born, because if your child is born, you're earning 60,000 and you have been keeping 5,000 somewhere, the child will not start school from the day they are born. By the time the child starts school, their accounts would already have some money that can take off their schooling age. It's difficult for us, like, to keep money. So that's why I say I'm pushed to talk about insurance, because there are policies, there are insurance policies that when you give birth to a child, you take the policy. It's called educational policies. It doesn't matter the insurance company, but I will talk about mine later. You can take a policy of a child the moment you give birth to the child of 5,000 francs per month. By the time the child gets to university level, that money, the capital of the policy, will mature and you use it. Because insurance, the thing with insurance is that it's not like your bank account that you go and get the money when you want it. Insurance, once you've said it's for 20 years, you respect the 20 years payment plan. So, and you don't have the right to come and withdraw. You can come and take an advance or a salary advance on it, but you cannot withdraw. So you're forced to push the policy to the end. And usually they say 20 years because by the time your child is 20, they're going to the university, and the money of that policy will send them to university, will not strain. But if you don't have a policy and you go and put the money in the bank or in the Njangi or anything, anytime that money comes into your hands, the problems will follow, because that's Africa. That's our problem.
All right. Now, let's look at it this way. Now, a parent who earns like less than 100,000 francs should like go to or choose schools that are like expensive for the children, or a parent who has a salary of 500,000 francs go for a more higher school than that what he has as salary, because that's a tendency. They're like trying to copy from others. You see your neighbor's child is going to a good school, or they'll say a good school or a better school, and you don't have the means, but you're charging, you don't eat in the house simply because you want the child to go there. At the end of the day, you can't pay the fee. You're stressing up to pay that fee. Now, how should the parents react in that situation?
I think every parent should actually send their children to schools that they can afford, because there's no need comparing with people. You know, I may see somebody's thing that I really like, but if I can't afford it, there's no need looking at it.
All right.
So if you see your child, what you need, like Selena rightly said, education of the child starts from the parents. So when you give birth to your child and you can afford a home teacher, that's fine. If you cannot afford, you can do it yourself. There's no need going to, like somebody like me, we work we work long hours so I can afford a home teacher. Thank God for that.
Okay.
But don't, because I have a home teacher,
Teacher.
coming home, my neighbor who does not even have a job wants to get a home teacher. No, I'll instead, if I didn't have a job, I'll be struggling to see how to bring up the kids.
All right, which means that if you're sending the child Selena to government or public school, and you need to do follow-up as a parent.
Yeah.
Is that, do you agree with that?
Yes, I do agree with that. And then, if I'm not wrong, I have observed the tuition fee in Cameroon actually is not very high. Even it's not really the matter of you are the parents who earn less than 100, you are the parents who earn more than 500. Still, if you make the plan, okay, let's say that I receive 50,000 and I take the 10%, it's already 5,000.
Okay.
And if you multiply 12 months, it's already 60,000. You can definitely pay for your child to school.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, I want us to watch this other story. We're talking about planning a child's education, building a child's future. We'll be right back. We'll talk about budget, career, and other interesting things. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We have women here in the studio. They have experience in the different sectors, in insurance and in the car sector. Let me put it that way.
Thank you.
And now I want us to talk about tips on planning for a child's education. Now, what are the tips? What are the lessons you can tell? What can you tell women out there?
Yes.
What should they do if they want to start planning?
I'll start planning. Maybe I will be out of the topic, but I really want to say that.
Okay.
Before you do the finance, I think you need to talk with your children.
Okay.
And then you need to ask them what you want to be. What is your objective? What is your goal?
Okay.
And then the children, they will act is very different. If you have an objective, the way of your behavior will be different. But if you just push them, go to school, you have a better future, you have a better job, it really doesn't give them encouragement. So I want them to talk first that what is your goal and objective, and then planning start from that part. And then they can talk about, okay, if you want to be a doctor, you need to do this one. And later we will see maybe medicine school, the school fee like how much. And then you can back to the calculation, and then you will see what you start from today.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
So it's
my
basically
idea.
about planning, no matter the children you have. What about somebody who has so many children? What should he do?
That is very big problem actually. This one I see the it's
Like, say
true
for example,
that-
somebody who has
yes.
a 1 kid, 2, or let's say 5, 10 now.
Yes.
How do you do it?
Wow, I have only 2 children, luckily, so I really didn't have that problem. But it's true that how can you help?
It means
Well,
that
I see
you,
what
it
you
means that
say.
you talk to the children. We are talking about planning here
Okay.
because I want you to give you experience. It means that you talk to each child. Each
Yes, of course. No matter how many children, or the mom should be the guide of the talking with each of them. Okay, one of them, what do you want to be? What do you want to be? What do you want to be? Okay, let's think about if you want to be doctor, what should you do now? Okay, and then you want to be teacher. Okay, you want to be do this one, right? And after that, you need to give the goal and then dreams, right? And then planning, financial planning now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's interesting what Selena
Yes.
says, because in our culture we generally do not ask people what would you like to do or what would you
Okay.
like to be
Oh,
before
really?
you.
Yeah.
And I think it will be
That is
important
really
that-
missing.
yeah,
It's really missing because parents, it's like parents decide for children.
Parents just say, I
Yes.
want you to be this,
It's a
I
big
want
problem.
you to
It's,
be.
it's still a
So
big
it's
problem.
interesting that we hear somebody tells us today that if you find out from your daughter what would you like to be, or your son what would you like to be, then based on that you work. And
Wow.
I want to use this opportunity to tell you that women are amazing. I mean, I see Bayam Salams, I see women from all they earn maybe more money than you and I sitting in offices. These women are wonderful.
Okay.
Actually, I said to myself, I want to belong to this group. I'm actually in one of the Bayam Salam group meetings in our
Okay.
village. And trust me, these women play 40,000 every week, every 2 weeks has a Njangi, that's a local word.
That's
they use.
80,000 francs a month.
80,000 francs a
Wow.
month. When I entered, no, it's, I think, yes, 80,000
40,000 francs in a fortnight and then 80 a month.
a month. When I joined them, I said, no, I'll only take half. So I was 20,000 because I had many other commitments, just because I wanted to be in their midst to see what. But guess what? Some of these women had 4 names. One woman, Bayam Selam, had 4 names.
That's almost 160,000 francs a month.
Do your maths well then. So can you imagine that you will be sitting here thinking women cannot do it, they do it well. These are Bayam Selam. These are women, and you see what they're selling, oil, gari, rice, and they can afford to do 160,000 a month Njangi. So some of them earn more than us in the offices. So when we talk about planning, the tips to planning is the budget.
Okay.
How many kids do I have? How much do I need to send them to school? Where am I going to send them?
Okay.
What do they love to do in life? Just like Selena said.
Okay.
Now, based on this hard-working mom would be able to plan. So I think it's interesting that the women should learn the tips of knowing what the kids want. Because when the kids say to my mom or to my dad, I want to be a lawyer, or I want to be a fashion designer, or I want to be a dancer, then the mom would know what schools teaches dancing, what school teaches fashion design, what school teaches engineering.
Okay.
What school can you go to become a pilot? How much will it cost me to do this? And you push the women to work harder, because today women contribute towards the homes as long as the men give the money. I see a lot of women contributing towards their household now.
All right, all right. We're
Okay.
talking about a budget. Selena, do you have a
Yes.
specific budget when your children are going back to school? To like sit down and
Okay.
make a budget?
Yes, of course, we do. And then, except for that, once I deliver one child, I open the account
Okay.
immediately. And then certain amount of money from my salary is continuously go to the every month. And then there's the money that I'm preparing for my child go to the university.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, I want to talk now about
Yeah.
you
Mm-hmm.
as the managing, country managing director of Kai Autos Cameroon. Now,
Uh-huh.
what is your motivation
What was my motivation in this country?
in your career
Uh-huh.
as a woman? Because I have millions of women watching you out there, and I'm
Uh-huh.
sure they want to like be like you. They are
Uh-huh.
looking at you like a role model. Now,
Okay.
how did you start, and what's your motivation?
Oh, it's like a very, very good question.
Mhm.
And then I want to be a leader who set the vision, and then I want to put my people get aligned on the vision to achieve my goal.
Okay.
Okay, I have 3 goals.
Okay.
Number one, in 2018, I want to sell 200 cars in Cameroon.
Okay.
Yeah, this is what I'm. Before that, I want to show you something. Can I?
Okay.
Yeah, this is a book I carry today,
Okay.
and then this is a very, very secret book.
Okay.
You will not believe that.
Okay.
And then every morning
Mhm.
or every 2 days morning, every day I write. Every day I write.
Okay.
And here I say, I write like I'm very healthy in my mind and
Okay.
in my spirit. And then what kind of person I want to be.
Okay.
I will be the person who give the trust on the people. I want to be the leader who give the vision to the people. I will be the proud of mom who my children want to be the follow me as a mentor. I write on everything. And after that, I speak and I read it every day, okay? I'm going to sell the 200 car this year. In 3 years,
Those are your objectives.
yes, of course.
for this year.
And then I said, in 3 years,
Okay.
I will increase my staff salary 2 times. In the 3 years, I'm going to take a 20% of the market share in this country. And then there are some things I write. You don't believe it. 2017, I started. And then every day, I go to the veranda and I say, I'm the managing director of the Kia Motors Cameroon. The first day, I was very shy.
Okay.
And then I'm the managing director. Next day, my voice is getting higher.
Okay.
And then sometimes I shout, I'm the managing director of this country.
Okay.
You mean that? And one day, the board of directors called me and he said, you want to take this position? I said, yes, I'm ready.
Okay.
And then within just few months, there are many objectives really become the truth.
Okay.
So I really want you to set the objective and believe in writing and say it. And I believe that we have the energy. You have the energy, I have the energy, and then I believe that people around you and all the universe, they hear you and
Okay.
they will help you because we are the circle.
Okay, because we have so many women out there who don't
Uh-huh.
believe in themselves.
Mhm.
They have dreams, but they don't have anybody around them to just push
Uh-huh.
them towards that dream.
Uh-huh.
We have women who want to become even just teachers, pilots, or whatsoever, medical doctors. They have nobody. They don't have anybody around them to tell them that you can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Sure.
So listening to you makes some women to have that dream. That there's still a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes.
Now, have you had some challenging moments?
Of course, I've been jobless. The first, when I was looking for the job, I was jobless 1.5 years.
Mhm.
And nobody believed that I applied more than 300 countries a year,
Okay.
companies a year. I send them my CV, 300 companies. And then finally, when I have a interview chance, I was applying for the pharmaceutical company. I did study business administration.
Okay.
And then this job post is medical department, who is working with the medical doctors. And then I don't know anything about medicine and anything. So I went to the pharmacy street. We have a pharmacy street in Korea. I made a survey sheet and I visit the pharmacy just one by one. Hello, my name is something. and then can you help me? I'm applying for this company. You are selling this medicine. What do you think about this?
Okay.
And then they just give me the honest feedback, and then I have collect 100 papers
Okay.
survey, and then later I make my analysis on the interview. I gave to the person,
Okay.
and then she did not say anything.
Okay.
And then interview just gone through very smoothly, and I was hired.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
what are you telling to women out there? What is your message? What is your last word to women?
You know what? Before you try something, you never know that if you succeed or not. So if you try, if you don't get it, still you have nothing to lose. Just go for it and try it, and you will get it finally.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. And now let's watch this other story. We're talking about planning a child's education, building a child's future. We'll be right back.
Child education. At present, the cost of graduation of each of their child is 10 lakh rupees. Prepare yourself for a trip into the future. Let's see what it holds for their children. Welcome to 2030. The children have all grown up, and so has the cost of graduation, to a whopping 41.77 lakh rupees. Their children have done well. Let's see the three friends' report cards when saving for their children's education. Raj seems the most unprepared. After all, he didn't plan smart and only put away a little money every year in fixed deposits. Rita planned a little, but not nearly enough, saving just 1 lakh to 1.5 lakh rupees every year as tax saving. Smart investment planning by Rohan ensured that he has enough money needed for his child's graduation. In spite of earning the same salary and having the same amount to invest, Raj was carefree and has a shortfall of 25 lakh rupees. Rita is a little better off, but she is fallen short by 12.5 lakh rupees. Rohan came well prepared with no shortfall. All three children have done really well academically, but will their future be the same? Raj's carefree nature means that he will not be able to afford to send his child to a college that he aspired for. Rita was slightly better prepared, but her child too will have to compromise on his college aspirations. Rohan's vision and planning means his child will study in a college that she always aspired for. Which one of these would you like to be? Raj, without any plan or clue in life. Rita, only managing tax savings without goal-based planning. Or Rohan, comfortable, well settled, happy, and planned well about the future. Always align your life and money to your goals. Financial planning simply means meeting your life's goals with proper allocation of your finances. A good financial plan is all about knowing what you want, analyzing how much you'll need, and investing rightly to meet these goals. Financial planning helps you achieve your goals in a timely and disciplined manner. ICICI Direct has simplified financial planning for you. Simply log on to www.visionforwealth.in and get a free comprehensive report on how you can achieve your goals.
Welcome back. This time around, we have Adeline Sede, CEO, Fabafric. You're welcome to Canal English. You're welcome to Turn Up. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you, Maureen. Thanks once more.
All right. Now we're talking about planning, and you just organized an event in the nation's political capital, that's Yaoundé, Cameroon, where you talk about planning a child's education, building a child's future. Now, why did you take interest in that?
Actually, it's quite interesting. I mean, the question is quite interesting because we don't talk a lot about career opportunities or career options.
Okay.
So apart from the fact that I was assigned, I was assigned by a client, it's part of the corporate social responsibility, of course, beneficiary life insurance, and we believe in supporting younger people to make the right career choices. You can testify that more than 40%, more than 60% or 70% of working class Cameroonians are not doing what they study in uni. Because straight after uni, you go straight into whatever is available. And this is one, purely because they didn't plan properly. Secondly, they didn't know otherwise. And thirdly, they found the next thing that they, that was in the market.
Okay.
So one of the rationale why we organized this event was because we wanted to bring thought professionals, experts
To explain to parents and to children
exactly
the importance of planning.
Exactly, the importance of planning, not just planning, but not just planning your career, but what you need to do in order to be what you want to be.
It means that is it normal for a child to walk up to the parents and say, "Daddy, mommy, are you like planning my what do we have?
I mean,
I'm going to school next year. Next year I'll be in a university. I hope you're like keeping a budget for me." Is it normal for
our society has made this really difficult. But I think it's time for parents to encourage their kids.
Because at the time when maybe a parent is involved in other things, is it a child can like awaken the spirit of the father and say, "Daddy, I have this project. I hope you, if not forgotten, I'm going to university. Next year I'm going to high school and changing my school." At least like tell the parent about that.
It should be normal, although our society has made it almost impossible for kids to walk up to their parents and tell them exactly how and what they want to do and ask those tough questions about their education. And also our children, most parents do not groom or educate their kids to be curious enough to discuss certain issues with them. Yeah.
Now, who do we blame for this? We're talking about planning a child's education. Now, Cameroonians don't know much about the concept. They don't have the culture. Now, would you blame for this?
I think
we have ministries that are in charge of education. We have the guidance counseling department.
I don't think we should blame anybody. I think what we need to understand is that we shouldn't play the blame game, but we don't know any difference because we've not been taught. So we need to organize, programs like this, talk about things like this, create more and more financial planning consultancy or institution where they can really educate our community, our society, our governments, And after this has happened, then I think the authority has to put in place, different steps in encouraging both family and kids on how to discuss financial planning and future planning and career planning and things like that.
Now, what is the role of mothers in this?
Mothers, like the moms.
The moms.
Moms, they spend a lot of time with their
parents,
kids.
I want us to talk about mothers especially because they spend their whole time with the kids.
Yes.
And, in Cameroon, 60% of mothers take care of children's education today.
I think women spend a lot of time with their kids. That's a fact. And unfortunately, these days, there is a huge distractions. And I blame most parents, moms, they're all on the social medias and, doing what they're doing. And they really forget the necessity in educating their kids on the relevance of life. So although most parents, moms, spend a lot of time with their kids, what's the quality of conversation that they have with their children? What sort of conversation do you have with your kids? How do you encourage them? How do you drive their dream? How do you drive their vision? Do they really talk with their kids? What's the depth of the conversation? So yes, mothers, yes, they spend quality times, but right now we need to refocus our attention to what is important. I mean, I can't say I'm an exception, no, but but we need to refocus, our attention to our kids and have these quality conversations with them, not just about us as a family, but about them as kids and their future and how they should plan their future.
So what are some of the tips you're giving mothers tonight?
Well,
parents?
Some of the tips I'm giving parents tonight is that you need to start talking with your children and start listening to your children. You need to start doing a lot of research out there, finding out what's happening out there, the trend of what's happening. Today we might be in a marketing era, tomorrow we might be in a aviation era, or the next day we might be in an insurance era. So what's the trend for tomorrow? If you educate yourself as a parent, then you'll be able to educate your child. Because you graduated university 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and you're working, it doesn't mean you should limit your learning just in your job. You should always educate yourself so as to have the quality information to educate your kids.
All right. Now, what's the next step? What do you have? Because I know you're into, like, you're always organizing events and, like, educating mothers, parents. Now, what's the next step?
Right
What's on
now,
the agenda?
2 weeks ago, as you know, Maureen, last week, was it last week? Yes, we organized a career orientation conference for children.
Okay.
And I'm so grateful for all the media like yourself, CANAL. You were one of our major sponsors. So happy because you've used your channel to, you know, to share this, you know, the information that was shared by our speakers on that day.
Okay.
So the next step is to put into practice some of the things that were discussed, you know, during that conference. So I'm working, of course, with the major sponsor of the program to make sure it doesn't just end on the day.
That's why we always talk about follow-up.
Yeah, we're following up with the mentorship program that we have, where all the speakers, they agreed, you know, to take up at least one child.
All right. Now, also, I don't want to forget about Mercy Angobi, who is the Deputy Finance and Administrative Director of Beneficial Life Insurance Company in Cameroon. Now, I want us to talk a little bit about insurance. We started it at the beginning of the program, but most people don't have the culture of this insurance policy in Cameroon. Now, what are you doing to inculcate?
Yeah, it's interesting. Adeline was talking about the children orientation program that we had in Yaoundé last couple of weeks. Reason why Beneficial decided to step out of insurance and get into kids, talking about schools, I just want to come back onto that, is because at university levels or when kids finish high school, they don't realize what they want to do. So when you talk about children education, the importance of children education, I don't want this program to finish without me saying this. It's important that since Beneficial has started doing this mentorship, reaching out on children, making them know what they want to do after high school or even during their education, it would be nice if we have all of that in our universities or in our schools so that people are. But saying this, it's interesting. My daughter in the house had 10 or 11 O-levels, I told you, with 8 A's.
Okay.
And the school called
That's
me because when she went to school, thank you. When she went to school, instead of following her science, she wanted to do art subject. And the school said, no, come on, you're doing really well in sciences. And coming and called and said, please orient your child to take up what she studied, that she's doing very well in that. So if we had this kind of talk with kids in school, then we're going to produce the best people for the choices. But Beneficial, coming to Beneficial does children education programs for children all over Cameroon. So we don't have that many children in the program yet. So meaning that people do not know that they can actually take up life insurance policies for their kids as young as they are, and these policies will pay their children's education when they're going back to school. So this year, as part of our corporate social responsibilities, we actually decided to give coupons of 20% and 10% off the children that are insured in all the bookshops that we negotiated with, and Beneficial is paying for that.
Right, but so now I just want to ask a question now. Why do you think parents are just so scared
taking up insurance, right?
Yeah.
It's a fear of the unknown, and it's not in our culture in Africa or in Cameroon in particular, insurance. But I want to use this medium to say that insurance is important, because I went to Ghana and I was amazed how Ghana is built. It's insurance. You know, how do insurance people make their money? We take the money, we keep it for you for 20 years and give it back to you when it's time for you to get it.
But if the population are not sufficiently informed or sensitized on it, they can't come for it, because maybe they don't even know about it.
That's what I'm saying, that the lack of, first of all, we don't advertise a lot. Insurance companies don't advertise a lot. So we have decided to start talking about it so that we can reach everybody, because it's our fault that we don't talk about insurance. Meanwhile, if we talk about it, people will know the advantage of it. Because if you put your money in the bank and you decide to save 10,000 in the bank, the money you save is what you get when you get it. But if, say, you put your money in the insurance company and you were saving, say you are in the bank, you're saving 10,000 every month. I'm in with an insurance company and I'm saving 10,000 in that insurance company. If the two of us are traveling to Yaoundé, this is touch wood, it doesn't happen. We have an accident and die. Your family goes to your bank, they'll only get your savings that you saved for the number of time that you saved. But the insurance company will pay up the claims for up to the 20th year of the policy. So that's what people don't know about insurance. I just think I prefer to keep my money in the bank. So if you had saved for 5 months, 10,000, your family will only get 50,000. If I'd saved with an insurance company 50,000, my family will get for the 20 years the capital of the policy.
All right. Now I want to thank you, ladies, for honoring our invitation. And to you, I will say thank you for watching. We're talking about planning for a child's education, building a child's future. Thanks for watching. Take another rendezvous. Same time next week. Goodbye.
Thank you.